That being said, since we're on the
Whale.
topic, say what?
Whale.
The whale. The whale.
Yeah.
Yeah, since we're on the topic of the Oscars and Brendan Fraser, getting into the whale here, I just wanted to give my quick review, my thoughts on the whale. I thought the whale was a great film, man. Not
Mhm.
quite on the level with the wrestler, but damn
Mhm.
close, man. And I almost feel like it could get there for me at some point. Um,
Mhm.
I always felt the wrestler was it was just a very poignant, film, man. Very just man, just made you think. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
just kind of setting the stage here for the whale by talking about the wrestler because it's Darren Aronofsky. I think it is
Darren
that still,
Aronofsky.
yeah, I think that's still his like masterpiece. Um,
Mhm.
and there's so much about the wrestler, right? It's just, there's so much sadness and regret in that movie, and there's just so much like humanity and just pain in that film. You know, just the pain of regret, the pain of being in love with something, a profession, it's your livelihood, it's your life that is no longer like serving you, is deteriorating you literally,
Mhm.
and has ruined that character's past relationships with his daughter, his presumably his ex-wife. Um so that kind of setting the stage, like, going into the whale, my expectations were like decently high, right? And I sat down to watch the whale, and the first thing I kind of realized while watching it is I was like, man, Darren Aronofsky, he still got it. Like, he
Mhm.
still got it, man. He could still, dude. He tackles the human. He tackles human just misery, human suffering, human
Mhm.
emotional suffering in particular. Um, just super, super intelligently and effectively.
Mhm.
And the whole movie, man, you just want to give Brendan Fraser's character a hug, man. You know, just watching this guy, just eat himself into into his grave, man.
Yeah.
And it shares themes with the wrestler. It has, as many may know from just watching the trailer or looking at the promotional material. There's an estranged daughter sort of storyline that comes into play. It deals with a lot of the same themes as the wrestler. Um,
Mhm.
I um, I just thought it was a very impressive film, and I'm just surprised at the amount of people who are sort of on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
This was a divisive movie. I mean, it was like split right down the middle. People loved it or they hated it. And I can understand, the tendency to look at a film like this and think, okay, like we're watching this just huge fat guy, like, care, drag himself, from room to room. He can't walk without a walker, and it's like I could see why some people would sit down and say like, this feels like it's trying to tug on my heartstrings and make me feel a certain way. While I understand that, I couldn't disagree with that sentiment more.
Mhm.
Because I don't know how else. After watching this film, I don't know how else you would tackle the subject matter, and it is subject matter that I think should be tackled. You know,
Yeah.
I think any subject matter should be tackled in film. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know how else you would tackle this subject matter. And I say that, and it is like, well, there are other ways to tackle this subject matter. But I did think this. I think the whale was a very honest handling of topics such as obesity, such as, loss, regret, religion. Very interesting, takes on, religious themes and, mega churches, things like that. Missionaries, that kind of thing. As well as the more sort of transcendent aspects of religion were present as well. But yeah, go check out The Whale, honestly, audience.
Yeah.
It's good. I
I'm meaning
rewatched the ending on YouTube the other day, and my eyes actually started watering.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Did
but,
it impact you like that the first time?
I almost feel like the second time watching the ending, I was actually more impacted. Or even some of the like best scenes, like just going on YouTube and kind of looking them up. Because I wanted to just rewatch some of those scenes and study them a little bit. I think they almost had more of an impact on me the second time. I feel like I was just more kind of, I don't know. That first time I watched it, I guess I was more just. It's almost like Brendan Fraser's performance is, for me, in that film, it's so good that you almost don't notice it because of how much it drew me. I was drawn into the film through not only his performance, but also just the story, the characters, cinematography, like the whole 9 yards. It's one of those performances that just speaks for itself. And at least me, like at no point was I like, oh my God, Brendan Fraser's crushing it. That's not a knock. It means, what I mean by that is I was watching this and it wasn't Brendan Fraser. It like was this character. You know what I mean? And it was.
You're just like really immersed.
Yes. Thank you.
Performance.
Exactly. That's the word I was trying to.
Which honestly, I think that's probably the highest praise you can give it.
Yeah.
If I feel like if you find yourself, going like, oh my God, like this guy's really going in, like I feel like when stuff like that happens, it's like, for instance, that's a way that I feel every time that I watch The Revenant,
Yeah.
With DiCaprio, where it really just feels like a great performance,
and Tom Hardy for that matter.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy for that matter, where it's not immersive, and somehow I not somehow, but rather I believe that that's a weaker performance than one that can make you really feel like immersed.
Yeah,
and few actors are able to accomplish that.
Yeah, one that sort of gets out of the way of the story.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Fraser received the award. If you feel that way, because that probably means that that means that he was probably. Amongst if not the most deserving, person to get that award.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, he absolutely was, man. Especially the second, because like I said, the second time around watching some of the highlight scenes, I noticed his performance more, and I was like, "Holy shit, man! It's like so fucking good." Yeah. Is there an actor? Is there an actor that kind of like is like so great but overacts more than Tom Hardy?
I don't know. I think that's like